Really nice to have you on the show.
Hi,
Uh,
hi, Akash.
I really admire your work and aspire to be like you someday. Can
Yeah.
you
Thank you so much.
give a brief introduction about yourself and your channel, please?
Yeah. So I'm Shubham, and I am a software engineer working with UK. And as a professional, I'm a developer, data engineer. But my heart lies in teaching. So I teach students using my
Hmm.
YouTube channel, Train with Shubham. And yeah, it's been a good journey of learning from the UK, US clients and teaching
Right.
to the young minds of India.
I have a question for you. Since YouTube is like an entertainment channel, how do you manage to teach in that platform?
So what I believe is entertainment and education or information can be
Hmm.
combined together to create infotainment. So how I generally take my lectures or my videos is kind of an infotainment way. I
Right.
prefer Hindi, teaching in Hindi, and teaching like as if you're learning from your brother or something. So yeah, so students kind of relate to it and they watch my videos,
Right.
and yeah, it's going good. It's a good
So,
journey.
any specific topics that you focus on?
I generally focus on Python programming language
Right.
because it's one of the programming language that is quite in demand, and
Hmm.
DevOps, AWS, Cloud, GitHub, Linux. So that's a lot of technical side. So using these technologies, people can get jobs quite quickly. So I've seen a lot of people getting jobs, and they are messaging me that, "Hey Shubham, I got a 50% hike. I got 110% hike." So that gives me a good satisfaction that okay, I'm doing something for someone. And yeah, that's something which I do. The videos are focused on jobs and how to
Hmm.
crack jobs using specific technologies.
Right. So, if we talk about the field of coding, is there any exponential growth in the area? Is there any scope?
Yeah. It's a really good field to be in,
Hmm.
because when I started my journey, I won't exactly reveal the numbers, but I started in a 3-figure salary. I was literally earning 3-figure salary. When I say 3-figure, it simply means 800 900 rupees. And then it was my first internship. I was just paid something for being there,
Hmm.
petrol or something. And then once I learned technologies, once I became familiar with the latest tools and techniques, the salary got increased, and the experience that I gained was increased. The perks and benefits are now increased. For example, I am sitting at my home. This is an office that I have set up, and I'm working for the UK. So yeah, that's the benefit. I can work from anywhere. Last month I was working from Lucknow. Before that I was working from Goa. Maybe next month I'll be working from Manali, something. So there's a lot of perks and benefits apart from the salary. So yeah, it's an exponential growth. It's a
Right.
good growth. Just that you have to keep yourself updated
Hmm.
a lot.
Do you think the pandemic has a role to play in the increase of work from home?
Pandemic act like a catalyst, I must say. So what happened, previously everyone used to go 9 to 5, did their
Right.
work, came back home. And now once the pandemic hit, everyone was in their homes, and companies realized that okay, let's give them work.
Hmm.
Maybe the employee is waking up at 9 a.m, so let's give him work at 8:50. Let's assign him work. Maybe the employee is still sitting at home till 10 p.m. or maybe 11 p.m. He's still awake. Let's give him more work. So even the productivity of the employee, increased, and the cost of traveling and
Right.
this time of traveling and everything got reduced. So the demand increased, the supply was increasing. Demand increased, the supply, it will increase automatically, and the productivity increased. Lower cost, increased productivity, increased demand, increased supply. This all acts like a catalyst to
Right.
grow a domain. So IT domain saw a really good boom in 2020, 2021, even 22. And even for the next 5 years, I think the graph won't slow down. It'll go up only.
Do you think the productivity of a person increases when they work at the comfort of their home?
Yeah. So if you take my example, I generally like to work in the mornings,
Hmm.
the brainy work where I'm coding, where I'm checking the data, I'm doing some engineering. So I really like working in the mornings, and towards the noon side, afternoon, I become a bit lazy.
Right.
So at that time I focus on the more mechanical work,
Hmm.
maybe documentations or something. And towards the end I have all my meetings on the UK time towards the end of the day, which means 6 p.m. or something. So
Right.
being a remote developer or being a remote engineer working from home, I get to choose what time I'm the most productive and what I should be doing at that time.
Hmm.
So that is one benefit of working from home. It increases your productivity a lot. You can work out anytime you want. You
Right.
can meditate anytime you want. So that's the benefit.
Hmm.
As compared to 9 to 5, you have to be there on at 9. You have to leave the office at 5. So I like work from home more.
Right. So the topic that we are going to discuss today is jobs, how to find a job in 2022, right? So
Yeah.
I would like to ask you that in terms of population growth and competition that is increasing every year, so is it harder to find a job these days?
So yeah, really good point on the population thing. Yes, people in basically terms of engineers are growing. Population,
Hmm.
let's not generalize it, but engineers or maybe testers or people who want jobs are growing, and so is the demand.
Right.
Why demand grows? Because people are there to utilize that part. For example, there is a demand of iPhones, or let's say there's a demand of any website software. Why? Because there are a lot of customers which want them. Okay, so when pandemic happened, or in the recent years, there were a lot of customers who are sitting at home doing nothing and need a lot of entertainment, need a lot of financial advice, need a lot of cryptocurrency thing, and a lot of things. So IT saw a boom. So did the engineers. They all started learning online, taking
Right.
certifications, learning more. So the number of engineers increased, and it is increasing. But the difference here is the requirement of skilled engineers. Okay, so the IT demands skilled engineers. What we lack is skilled engineers. We have engineers, we have them in a lot of numbers, coming from tier 3 cities, tier 4, tier 1, tier 2, every kind of cities. But why IITs and NITs only get the Googles and Facebooks of the world? Why not a tier 4 person is getting that job? The simple reason is the gap, the skill gap. And yeah, once you tackle that basically problem of upskilling or training to be at par of the market, then you get a job. Okay, and
Right.
for that you have a lot of ways of doing that: projects, LinkedIn, reaching out to people. There are a lot of ways, we'll be discussing that. But the main crux behind is there are jobs, there are opportunities, there are people, but there are less skilled people. Okay, skilled people are less, and industry needs skilled people. That's why there is you must be seeing key there people are not getting jobs. There are jobs, but people are not skilled enough to get that job.
Right. Do you think automation has a role to play with it, like in some advanced countries, like
Yeah,
McDonald's,
that's
people
true.
are not able to work, right, because of the
But
machines?
I
Yeah.
have a different perspective to it.
Yeah.
So you must have heard that automation will take 5 lakh jobs. AI will come, AI, artificial intelligence will come and take away all of the jobs. But
Self-driving
I think
cars.
of it, yeah, self-driving cars will come, and basically your job as a driver
Right.
will be gone.
Right.
But I think of it like a different way. When you do something at a speed, the demand also increases. For example, You had ordered, let's say, some pizza. You went to Domino's, and you waited for 30 minutes, and then they gave you the pizza. Now Domino's claims that I will give you pizza in less than 30 minutes, that too at your doorstep. Now Zomato is claiming that we will give that pizza in less than 10 minutes. So now, once this kind of time gap is reducing, the demand of customers is also increasing. Previously, people used to order, once in a month, once in a week, or twice in a week from Amazon. Amazon started one day delivery. Now everyone is ordering every day. Maybe you must be ordering more than 3 4 items every day. I do, because I know that I order it and till evening it will be here. So the demand is increasing, which means automation is growing, automation is producing more items, people are consuming more items. Now, when more items are produced, more items are consumed, there needs to be supervision, there needs to be processes, there needs to be management. So people will be required. I'm not saying that people will go and only robots will rule the world like Terminators. No, people will be there, people will monitor everything, drivers will be there to assist that robot, that hey, this action you are taking, I am saying that you are taking a wrong action, so that machine will learn again. Okay, so drivers will, and who will sit in India if you are going on a highway, who will sit in a driverless car in India? Maybe people will, but if you know that there is a trainer for that robot who is monitoring, then it will feel more safer to sit in that car. So that is how I feel automation and AI will take the world. There will be people, or in the terminology it is called human in the loop. So there will be automation and there will be a human in the loop. Now you have to be skilled enough to be that human in the loop. So
Right.
there is the catch.
Yeah, but no job is safe, right? Every job can be replaceable by a machine.
Yeah, that's true, because we saw a lot of decline in automobile. So
Hmm.
mechanical engineers back in 2010, when I was in school and I was seeing my seniors, my bhaiya log. So they were mechanical engineers working in Tata Motors and Toyotas and things like that. And after, let's say, 5 years, their jobs, the job of automobile engineer at Tata Motor was replaced by a computer based automobile engineer. He used computer to solve the problems. So his job was gone. So that's why you have to know that which domain is booming and which job you have to take. Okay.
Right.
So IT currently is booming, fintech, finance is booming, agriculture might be booming because of a lot of food shortage. So you have to pick your domain quite well. You have to do the research. You have to understand the market a lot.
So, keeping this replaceability in mind, and your point that everyone should have increased skills, like engineers. So, what are some of the essential skills that you would recommend everyone to learn so that even if they lose their job, they can stand on their feet?
Yeah. So when I talk about essentials, I being a software engineer, uh, coding is something you should be knowing, not only to get a job. So you must have heard that in your school, maths is very important, because
Right.
without maths, you can't clear your board exams or things like that. Because maths is quite important. Similarly, in today's world, coding is quite important. It's very much similar to maths. You have to solve real world problems using a program, using a robot, or using a website or application. You have to solve that problem. So that's what maths did back when we were in school. Okay, so coding, I think it's something everyone should be knowing. Even the kids, whitehead junior kids, they also learn coding and then they progress. So there's coding that you should be knowing. There are a lot of soft skills that you should be knowing. For example, you talk to hundreds of people, you have a skill of communication. That's something everyone should know. Art of storytelling, everyone should know. So few things that will always keep you on your feet is, I think, it jobs you should be looking forward to. Be it entry data analyst, be it just someone who knows Excel very well, SQL very well, databases very well, or someone who can communicate things. For example, a business analyst. who can understand the requirements from clients, give it to developers, understand the problems of developers, give it to client. So here communication is something that is very important. So that's why I am focusing on coding, communication, storytelling, and yeah, a lot of soft skills.
Right. So suppose I am 25 and I want to learn coding and get a job. How
Yeah.
will I be able to compete with 14-year-olds like who are 25 now, who have been coding for 10 years?
Correct, correct. That's a really good question. And that's something which demotivates a lot of students across the globe. That I'm just starting, and there are so many people who have been doing like years of coding, have tons of projects. How will I compete with that? So you should understand everyone has their own race. There are a lot of startups growing. Okay. These people who are working for tens and 20s of years, they're targeting for a bigger company like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Apple, the Mang companies, Fang. So, and there are a lot of startups which are just growing. Maybe as we are speaking, there must be 10 startups we are just opened. So, why not start as an intern in that startup? Why not look into the VCs, the venture capitalists, the investors, where they are pouring their money? Because wherever they are giving their money, there's a lot of requirement of manpower because they're growing their
Hmm.
startup. So why not target such companies? Why are you always thinking about going into Google? Because already there are a lot of people who are eligible to go into Google. Maybe you can beat them, but why not start small from a startup? Why not work for free in some college as a part of their project developer? There are a lot of students who are developing project. Why not assist them? You'll get a lot of exposure how real life projects work. You'll get a lot of exposure how things happen in the industry by doing an internship. And then when you have some base of programming, some base of working in an environment, then you step up, then you
Right.
level up, go for a job which is like a TCS or Infosys. From a startup, go to an MNC, then learn more skills, learn data structures, algorithm, pick up how aptitude questions are solved, get skilled on how to crack an interview, then go for Google. That's how step by step things should work. Because the person who is there in the industry since 10 years, he also followed the same way, he also walked the same path, and that is something he has made for you, that you also have to follow that. You don't
Right.
have to compete with someone, you have to compete with yourself first. Okay.
Right.
That's something which I strongly believe.
Right. How many degrees is a person in this day and age supposed to have?
So yeah, you must be hearing a lot. MTech in AI, BTech
Right.
from computer science, NIT. So when I open LinkedIn and someone who
Hmm.
has got a job, and I see his profile this much big, so MTech
Right.
PhD
Right.
AI.
Right.
So yeah, it makes a lot of insecurity in you that hey, did I
Hmm.
do? I just did my BTech from a tier 3 college. Am I good enough to compete with them, or am I sufficient with this much knowledge? So in 21st century, what I believe is skills will be ruling, degrees won't be. So degree is a piece of paper which you basically get by completing a lot of assignments, a lot of exams, and being in that environment. Now, that environment, which is a college, had a lot of respect at a time pre-COVID, because you were working somewhere, you went at 9 a.m. to the college, you attended the lectures, you took all the pressure of learning, assignments, exams, and then you came out at 5 p.m., 9 to 5. They teach you how to work in 9 to 5, but things have changed now. There are opportunities like freelancing, there are opportunities like content creation, like podcasting, so many technical content writers, so many things. And I don't think that a lot of degrees will help here, but skills will. You can be a freelance developer without having a degree. All you need is a client who is willing to pay you, and your skills, which who are willing to that skill will get that work done. That's all you need. So here skills and communication is something which is very important in order to earn good amount, and freelancers are earning like crazy, even more than what a normal job employee earns. So
Plus the
yeah, I don't.
convenience.
Yeah, plus the convenience, that's the best thing. You wake up at your own time, you are your
Right.
own boss, and you're earning as well. So no
Right.
degrees required there. But yeah, we live in India, and parents have aspirations that
Hmm.
son should have master's degree. My mummy says you should have a PhD. So yeah, there are demands, but yeah, I think skills is more important than any degree.
What are some of the ways that people can acquire these skills?
One of the way is continuous improvement. So there's a Japanese philosophy called kaizen, which means continuous improvement
Hmm.
and reflection. For example, Python is something which is booming nowadays. People are making websites on Python, people are making artificial intelligence models on Python, web scraping, data engineering, big data. So Python is something which you should be looking into. So that's what I feel. And yeah, keeping up with the technologies which are in the market. For example, I told Python. There is also something known as AWS or cloud computing. Everyone is moving their infrastructure from local to a cloud. So there's a lot of demand of cloud engineers.
Hmm.
So it might go very techno savvy kind of in conversation. But I would like my viewers to know that Python, JavaScript, AWS, these are the tools that you should be focusing on right now. Databases like MongoDB, SQL. If you know these things, there's a lot of demand in the market and you might get a really good job. So yeah, these are the skills you should be looking at. And also keep on, updating yourself. Maybe today there is Python, maybe there is a Julia language
Hmm.
tomorrow. Python is obsolete. How to cope up with that? You have to learn Julia. You have to make projects on Julia. Maybe Julia also went off the market.
Right.
You have to learn new. So there's always a continuous improvement, continuous learning.
Hmm. Even the doctors who are so skilled and well knowledge have to take courses because that's the nature of the game. It keeps on evolving.
That's so true.
Right. Okay. Do you think that there has been an incline or decline in salaries of employees?
Incline. I must say incline. Why? Because I studied from Symbiosis
Right.
Institute of Technology, and the highest package that was offered in 2018 was 8 lakhs per annum.
Right.
Now, the average package that was offered in Symbiosis is 10 lakhs per annum. So the highest package was 8, now the average package is 10. 97% of the students in Symbiosis were placed with the highest package of 45 lakhs per annum. Where was 8 lakhs? Where is 45 lakhs? So why this boom is seen? There are a couple of reasons. There is a lot of money that is coming to India from a different, countries. Maybe
Hmm.
foreign investors who are
Right.
pouring money into companies like Zomato, Paytm, so many companies. And these companies required very skilled developers. So from that college or from a group, they pick the most skilled developer, and in a way, in an order that he should not, go to some other company. They give him bigger salary package, 45, 50 lakh per annum, and that is spoiling a lot of people. So the graph of salary is increasing. People were getting average of 3 to 4 lakhs per annum. Now that average has been increased to 6 lakh per annum. People
Hmm.
were getting 10 to 12 lakhs as the highest salary, that is increased to 40 lakhs. That I'm talking about tier 3 colleges. Tier 1 and tier 2, they are going crazy. 1.5 CR in Facebook, 2 CR in Google. So in Uber, someone got 2 crore. So yeah, the salary packages increasing. Why? Because a lot of money is there and there are a lot of openings as well. As I said, the analogy of getting more work done, and then producing more data, producing more output. So they need
I think
more
your
people,
internet is
more money.
unstable.
Not. I didn't see a decline. I
Yeah,
hope
now
it's
it's fine.
fine now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. Did I miss something?
We could hear you. Question.
Okay, okay, okay.
Right. Okay. So, in terms of recruitment for job, do you think aside from education and skills, personality also has a role to play?
That's so true. That's so true. For example, if I am hiring someone,
Hmm.
what kind of person will I love to work with? So that's something which I ask to myself while hiring someone. I also take a lot of interviews. I also give a lot of interviews. So personality is something that plays a very important role. For example, if someone is lying on their resume, so it simply means he has a personality of fraud, theft, or
Right.
maybe lying to someone. So that is someone whom I would not love to work with. So that candidate is rejected. For example, if there is someone who has a lot of attitude, he's not talking very nicely. Will I work from 9 to 5 with that person? No, I won't. At the same time, if someone who is having a good full interest in you, having understanding everything, being patient, which shows that it's a good personality, I would definitely love to work with him. So personality plays a very important role, and you have to keep yourself very open. Okay, you can't be that introvert who is not talking to anyone. You can't be that extrovert also who is going
Hmm.
all out and saying things to your employer. You have to have a balance. You have to have equanimity. So when I say equanimity, it means neither too happy nor too sad. You have to be balanced,
Right.
and that kind of balanced personality, smartness is something which I look for in a candidate. So yeah, personality plays a very important role.
So, if your employee is all over the other side of the world, and the only way of communicating is through a phone or something, so reliability also has to play an important role, right?
That's true. So for example, things like showing up.
Hmm.
For example, you came to an interview and you were late,
Hmm.
and simple thing, the first thing that he or she will be thinking, for example, I'm working for the UK, and if I had arrived late for the interview, the simple impression that I gave to my employer, that whenever the meeting will be, I might be late. So that's simple thing. You have to be on time. For example, I saw a lot of internet issues right now. So
Right.
this is something also plays an important role
Hmm.
while doing a remote work.
Hmm.
There can be instances where people or the employer must be thinking that his internet is not stable. Maybe whenever I call him or something, he won't be able to pick the calls or something
Hmm.
like that. So you
Right.
have to be in a professional world. You have to be professional.
Hmm.
So yeah, sorry for the internet, because yeah, sometimes it
No
happens.
problem. Yeah.
You can't help that, but that should not be a recurring thing. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Right.
yeah, everything has their own aspects, be it personality, be it the time that you spend with someone, you
Hmm.
give to someone, be it the internet or something. So we live in a very digital world. You have to make sure everything is checked.
If you talk about interview, how important is presentation, like grooming and dressing up properly?
Yeah. It's quite important nowadays. What is happening? For example, all the interviews are virtual. So
Hmm.
previously, people used to polish their shoes, wear the best trousers, wear the best fitting shirt, comb, and everything. Nowadays, even if you dress upper side, that it's fine. So because no
Right.
one is coming and looking
Hmm.
at your trousers or shoes. So yeah, dressing is quite important. Just that whatever you present should be nice. For example, if you're communicating with a client from USA or UK, your
Right.
English should be good, because he won't
Hmm.
understand your Hinglish or tutti futti Hindi. He won't understand that. Or tutti futti English, he won't understand that. So your communication should be good. presentation. For example, I have seen interviews in which the background, there were kids playing, there was cow, Indian rural areas. So that doesn't give a very good indication that this
Hmm.
candidate is good. So you should have a good background, you should have quiet environment. So presentation has a lot of things into it. Not only your how do you, the way you look, it also means how you present yourself, your aura, everything, how you make the other person who is interviewing you feel like.
Right.
So everything plays an important role there. So yeah, good question related to presentation.
My last question is: do you have any tips for aspiring students or coders?
Yeah. So I would love to give a lot of tips, but I'll combine them to one big tip: be
Right.
visible. Okay, so there are a lot of people who are looking for good employees. If I show you my LinkedIn, there are around hundreds of messages from recruiters saying that, hey, please come for an interview, please come for a discussion about this. I'm not replying those because I have some work. But
Hmm.
people are not getting that opportunity. Why? They are hidden, they are not visible. No one is willing to reach to them because they don't know how to reach to them.
Right.
So being visible on LinkedIn, being visible on Twitter, being visible on GitHub, so these three platforms every coder should be there. Create projects, put it on GitHub. Okay, now what happens? Anyone who is looking for a developer will see the proof of work. What is your proof of work? Your GitHub profile. Because your GitHub profile has all of the codes, all of the programs, projects that you have done. Now how will you reach out to people? Your LinkedIn.
Hmm.
LinkedIn is a gold mine. Whenever you post something, the friends of friends also view that post. For example, you are my friend and there is a recruiter in your friend list. He might also see my post and he may
Hmm.
directly reach out to me. So that is the power of LinkedIn. Why Twitter? Twitter is a place where people like CEOs, CTOs, they have their personal accounts and they basically spend time there.
Hmm.
LinkedIn, no CEOs and CTOs is spending time. It is generally a lot of students, freshers, and technical recruiters. Okay,
Right.
so that's why I want every student to have some social media presence, not on Instagram and TikTok. No, I don't want that. Even if you're doing that, do some educational thing, do some
Hmm.
productive thing. But main focus should be on GitHub, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Okay, once you do that, you be visible, you market yourself, and when you know the art of selling yourself, then you get the best package, then you get the best company to work, then you get the best perks and benefits. So yeah, that's the only advice I would give. Do a lot of projects, post it, and be visible.
And this proof of work should be applicable to all fields, right? Even if you are a lawyer,
Yes.
or right.
Yes, because yeah, for example, if I'm hiring someone,
Hmm.
and if I say that I do a good amount of coding, I really write good code, and that's all. How
Hmm.
will I trust that person?
Right.
If you show that, hey, I'm a really good coder working since last 4 years, and this is the one of my work that I've done, that's the proof of work.
Hmm.
Even blockchain and things like that work on proof of work. So as a human, I think best thing to do is a proof of work. Whatever you do, even if you are
Right.
for example, are we talking? Because I
Right.
saw all of the videos that you did, all of
Right.
the amazing podcasts that you did with your
And
guests. So that
right.
was a proof of work that you are
Hmm.
doing a really good job. You know the art of having a conversation, you know how to get guests on your show. So yeah, that's the proof of work for you. So
Right.
everyone should have a proof of work. That is something which I strongly believe.
Because a resume can only go so far, right? People can write anything.
One page, that's two, one page, two page. After that, they need some evidence that, hey, this person is saying the truth, he has actually worked, and this is the proof. So
And
yeah,
employers check,
that's
right? They check your media presence, what all you have done.
they do. They do. My HR added me on even on Instagram just to see whether my
Right.
personal life, if I'm not doing anything bad.
Hmm.
So they have a look into everything. Even my YouTube channel, they checked all of the videos and they found that okay, this guy is making videos on Python. We require someone on Python. Let's hire him. That's how I got a job using my YouTube channel because I know Python. I had made a lot of videos on Python. They
Right.
readily got a candidate who knows Python. I
Hmm.
My interview was also very short, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They already
Right.
saw the proof of work and they hired me.
Right. So, do you like take classes as well for Python?
I generally do YouTube live.
Right.
So, for example, every Sunday I spend around an hour or two with my students on YouTube. So, any doubts which they have on Python, AWS, they ask me. And for example, if let's say 10 people have a common doubt, I make a video on that.
Hmm.
So that is how I, take classes. Not exactly classes, but this is how I teach them my way of
Right.
doing things.
Right. So, thank you so much. You have been very informative. Uh,
My pleasure. You asked the really good, important questions which are important for the student and for
right.
any freshers who are looking for a job. Really good questions. Really love the
Thank you
conversation.
so much. Thank you so much. Pause the video.
Yeah, yeah.